We continue to follow a developing investigation out of Pasco County. Detectives want to know who was behind the murder of a 94-year-old woman. Members of her community say their beloved neighbor had been a victim of crime before. Our Carson Chambers is following the investigation and joins us from Newport Richey. Carson, what have you learned?
Well, Serena, we know that 94-year-old Ann Parlato lived on the street for nearly 30 years, and all the people in this neighborhood, they all knew her. Many of them said she was just too trusting.
She walked with a cane and her hearing was poor, but even at 94 years old, Ann Parlato's friends say she was independent and spirited.
She was a little unsteady on her feet.
Parlato recently had hip surgery, so her friend and neighbor of nearly 30 years looked after her.
She fell many times, outside, inside. I lifted her up when I discovered her.
Sophia Dariansky says Parlato had a number of different people who helped her get by. A caretaker, a yard man, and others at Covenant Christian Church where she attended Sunday service. Now deputies are talking to all of them, trying to catch someone who attacked Parlato inside her home. A murder investigators call particularly brutal and disturbing.
In cases like this, the first people you look to are family members. And since she had none, then you go to friends and other people she was acquaintances with. And that's what we're following up on.
We're also learning tonight that despite all the people helping Parlato, 3 years ago she was the target of another crime.
Someone was accused of stealing a check or maybe altering a check to try and cash it. It was not successfully cashed. The banking institution, her banking institution, noticed the irregularity in the signature.
Deputies say that man is currently serving time in a New York jail and don't believe he's connected to this murder. But Parlato's friends say it shows her vulnerability, despite being 94 years young.
Just the fact that she's gone is a big, it hurts. I hardly slept at all last night.
And back live tonight along Parlato Street here in Port Richey, you can see forensics units are still parked outside of her house. They still have it all taped off with yellow crime scene tape. We've been here all day long. I can tell you they have been too, in and out of her house. Detectives say they can't give too much away because they want to protect their case. Live in Pasco County, I'm Carson Chambers, ABC Action News.